Welcome back to Kingdom Cast. This your host, Bad Luck Chuck. We back at it again with another episode of Kingdom Cast. We're gonna get back on with the 2021 season in review as we review the rest of the season, the regular season, in weeks 14 through 18. Before we get into that, I'd like to introduce the panel for today. Top right hand corner is my guy Country. Bottom of the screen is our homegirl Kylie. So, how you two doing on this gloomy Sunday afternoon?
Man, I'm doing good. Doing good. Watching the combine, just chilling out, relaxing. You know.
Bad at all. Not bad at all. I've been at Menards looking for new bathtubs. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
You saving big money though, like on the commercial?
Saving money at Menards. Hey,
Man, I was there yesterday.
I seen this whirlpool tub. Oh my God, it's so good. So, what's cracking, Slim?
Slim, what up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right, so before we get into weeks 14 through the rest of the regular season, we got the latest news with Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, he is due for a contract extension. For what I've seen this is a report from the Pro Football Network. We're not gonna get into that, but
No.
yeah, shout out to him though, man. He had a good game. But anyway, Tyreek Hill is due for an extension of 4 years of roughly $85 million. I'm seeing just a smidge over $21 million per year as far as the extension on the table. Nothing's official. He still has yet to sign it, but that's the latest report in regards to the possible extension. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on Tyreek Hill getting offered that specific extension. And do you guys agree with the amount and the years?
So I'm gonna be. I think we'll be the first one to acknowledge Judge Reed 92 on Twitter, who was saying this 3 days ago. Maybe he said it first, and then he kind of came with contract details and all that good stuff. I've talked to him, and he's very confident in what he's saying, and it all points out now. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Yo, if I get this right, you gotta have me on the show." So we might bring him in for a couple of minutes, couple segments or whatever. But nah, he been on point. And then Matt Verderam. I hope I didn't pronounce that wrong. He came out, confirmed, and then Bob.
Oh, now you having a hard time pronouncing his name. Y'all want to get on me?
Matt V is what I usually call him.
It's easier that way.
Yeah, so it's been confirmed, and it looks like I think it was last reported he was in Dubai for his birthday. Just had a birthday a couple days ago. Happy birthday, Tyreek Hill. So I guess pretty soon we'll get it announced like officially, and good deal, a lot of money. He's earned it.
Mm-hmm.
He had that situation that he was innocent, not guilty. People that keep bringing up that. So he got a lowball contract that was good for the team and good for business at the same time. And he played it out. He overexceeded it, and now he's about to get paid, and he deserves it. He deserves it. I'm sure Pat was like, take care of Tyreek. Please take care of Tyreek.
Right.
So Travis got his money. Travis been getting money for years. He's had a couple contracts, couple restructures, all that good stuff. So it was time to pay Tyreek. And then it helps the team by getting a low cap number this year, and then it'll probably balloon up next year or whatever. But or towards the end, that helps because I still think we need a veteran wide receiver. So there's still rumors that we're interested in Mike Williams, Odell Beckham Jr., Juju, of course. I think Juju is going to happen. I think Juju is like the worst kept secret in the NFL right now. He's coming to Kansas City, right? Do we all agree on that in the room right now?
I mean, that's feels like what the rumors are saying. That's kind of where
Yeah,
everything's
but a
pointing
lot of
towards.
smoke. Where there's a lot
Yeah.
of smoke, there's a lot of fire. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of smoke around Juju to the Chiefs. It probably should have happened last year. I think they get it right this year. So offense after that. Outside of right tackle, are there any other needs on the offense? Excuse me. Not
Uh,
starter needs. It's no more starter needs. It's like depth issues and all that stuff. So
right. Yeah. I'm happy that they're paying Tyreek. Obviously, it was earned. I completely agree with that. He was lowballed last time, so to see him get paid is awesome. He's earned it over the last few years. He's 28 now, so starting to move into that veteran status. And I think if we can grab someone out of free agency, so I would be good with Juju. I personally noted that I'm a big Chris Godwin fan. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would not mind seeing Godwin. I just think we need a bigger body guy down there. But and then a little depth. So if we could draft a wide receiver in the top 100, not first, second round, but third round wide receiver that could continue to learn. Andy doesn't tend to put rookie wide receivers in. So Tyreek being there again, obviously extending him, they can continue to learn under him. So I think that's another great thing. It's great for the team. It's great for Tyreek. I'm all for it.
if they added Juju and re-signed Byron Pringle, would you be satisfied with that wide receiver room? Because that would be Tyreek, Juju, Pringle, Hardman, Gordon, Powell. That's 6 right there. And maybe Darius Fountain, who kind of flashed a little bit last year. Would you be satisfied with that wide receiver room?
Yeah, you brought up Gordon, and I kind of forgot that he was coming back next year. And I think an offseason with the team is going to go really far for him. So that adds more depth there. I would be satisfied there. I still would like to draft one. I would still like to draft one just because injuries. We've been lucky so far, but to get more depth in that wide receiver core I'd be down with it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue if it's Tyreek, Juju, and Pringle as the top three. And as you mentioned, Josh Gordon, it's already clear that the team is going to keep him and try to work him out through the offseason and see if we're going to get some improvements and get some better production out of him moving forward. So it's been said before that it does take a minute to learn the Andy Reid offense as a wide receiver. So yeah, I wouldn't have an issue. But like Kylie said, drafted another wide receiver, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. This wide receiver class is deep. It's very deep this year. And going by what we've been seeing throughout the scouting combine, that's been proven well so far. So
And I think Hardman's going to improve a lot over the offseason. I think the way that his trajectory was through the season, I think he's only going to improve third season for him. So, and if he can get in a room and work with Pat more, just get to your workouts and work with the team and bond and build on that relationship. I think we're going to see some bigger numbers out of him next season.
And plus his money time. His money time.
Right.
So what does the great Terrence Taylor say? Contract
years undefeated.
So we'll see. I think McCall he might splash in a big way this year, but the problem with McCall is not flashing, is consistency. So if he can build that over the last 3-4 games, he looked good. He looked good. He did have a reason to be upset in the playoffs because he was open a lot. So it'd be interesting.
Especially the second half.
It'd be interesting. I wouldn't be mad at that wide receiver room. I wouldn't be mad bringing Pringle back because I don't think it's going to cost you a lot. But if there's a chance that you can upgrade that, I would be all for that too. Boogie says running back, right tackle, and wide receiver.
Running back. How do you feel about drafting a running back or getting one in free agency?
Well, everybody likes the kid
Um,
too, right? What's his name? Tyler Batty? Is his name Tyler?
Beatty, yeah. Yeah, Beatty, yeah. He's good. He's good at the back. He's good at the backfield. He has great hands, good soft hands. He was very productive at Mizzou, and he's a guy that's pretty much been looked at as a sleeper for what I've been seeing. So I think Beatty, if he does get drafted and make the NFL, I think he will turn out to be a decent player. I don't know if he's going to be a star or anything, but Beatty, he should be a productive player whenever he does get an opportunity. So.
Okay, so here's something I was thinking about, and I haven't shared it with the group or the team, but I think it might be interesting if we start doing some polls on scenarios for the draft, and then we combine it all together and make our Kingdom Cast mock draft. I think that would be fun, and we are the most interactive podcast in the Chiefs Kingdom. Don't nobody do what we do or like we do. So I think that would be fun. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, go ahead, bro. What else happened this week?
Yeah, so to conclude the Tyreek Hill extension, so once his extension becomes official, he'll be an unrestricted free agent when he turns 33 instead of 29 currently. So I think that would be good enough. Like my thing is this, like once his extension becomes official, with Tyreek, man, I definitely want him to really, really be serious about, getting better at refining his routes. I mean, I'm not saying he's not improving anything, but there has been times where he's rounding his routes and he's making himself easy to defend. And like once that speed is gone, but who knows, man? He might be like Darrell Green and continue to be one of the fastest players in the league throughout his entire career. But once that speed is a little gone, you gotta adjust your game a little bit. So that's what I'm curious about. Once Tyree hits his 30s, like how's he gonna adjust once that speed starts to decline a little bit?
But isn't Tyreek fast enough? He could lose 3 steps and just be a fast receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
I think.
everybody keeps saying he might lose a step. He's gonna lose a step. He can lose like 3 steps.
Right.
Hey,
No,
hey, listen,
he's got a lot of speed.
I'm just trying to extend the man. I'm just trying to extend the man's career. That's all.
No,
That's it.
Yeah.
I just think that people say, well, he's hitting 30, he's gonna lose a step and he's gonna fall off a cliff. But he's still gonna be the fastest guy in the NFL. Like he's that much ahead, in my opinion. Maybe I'm tripping, but
No, he's definitely got speed. I think for me, the thing I want to see him work on is his hands. I think that he had a few too many drop passes last year. I don't think his route, for me, I don't feel like his route running's really a problem because he's getting there and then I'm seeing drops. So work on your hands a little more. But other than that, he could lose 3 steps to your point country and still be pretty fast. Running circles around me, that's for sure.
yeah,
All I gotta say is there's a reason why Patrick Mahomes is still leaving the pocket too much. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, my
Hold
bad. Go
on.
ahead, Kylie.
I was just gonna say, I just think Patrick likes being out of the pocket. I don't know that that's always. I think he just feels more comfortable outside the pocket. But maybe that's another conversation.
we're gonna get into it in this
You got to
season.
get comfortable being with uncomfortable soon.
I know.
Welker? Really, Boogie? Boogie, all right? Is Boogie okay?
Wes Welker, all right, man. All right. but anyway,
people to compare him to, and he's way down on my list, Boogie. But go ahead. I feel what you're saying, though. I think I understand what you're saying.
yeah. But on to the next subject, though. In other NFL news, before we get back on the Chiefs related stuff, a big time receiver got released during the week, or is gonna get released, soon to be released. Cowboys wide receiver Amari Cooper is soon to be a free agent, or he's soon to be traded. And a lot of Chiefs Kingdom was like, yes, bring him in, sign him, get that guy right now, or trade for him right now, and all this other stuff. My question to everybody in the panel is this: like, is he a good fit for this team? Because I feel like we don't need him. To me, Amari Cooper, I've seen him check out of games too much. He's a great route runner. He's very talented, but if he's not getting targets early, he checks himself out of the game. And there's other games where I've seen him go up against physical defensive backs, and if you get your hands on him, you get physical with him, he checks out there too. So I've seen Amari Cooper check himself out of games too much. I don't need that here. So, I mean, what do you guys think?
I I think like if I had to spend my money, it would be between Robinson, Williams, Cooper, those type of echelon guys. And I don't think he's like high on my list if I had that group of guys to choose from. So I think he fits. I think he fits, and I think he's probably something that we would need. But I just look at Mike Williams, and I might edge Mike Williams over him because of his red zone efficiency, which is where we struggle. It's not the middle of the field we struggle. It's in the red zone, in the 20s. You know what I'm saying? So, but you said we getting on his nerves. But I think I would edge Mike Williams over him. If I was going to spend some money, I'd rather spend it on a corner, actually, or DN than spend it on a Cooper. But I wouldn't be mad at it. But, no, I'm cool.
Yeah, I don't know. My initial, like, as soon as I found out they were releasing him, I was like, oh my gosh, we got to grab him. But upon more thought, I was just like, I don't know. To your point, like, Chuck, I feel like the attitude's not kind of what we want for the rest of the team. If he's checking out early, not getting the ball, because you're not going to be wide receiver one coming in to Kansas City. So I think there's other prospects out there. Mike Williams, I'm a big fan of. Do we think he's going to be available? It would be my concern. Are they really going to let him go? And then I like Robinson, but he's voiced that he's not a Nagy fan, if I can remember. So is that an option? I guess I'm asking. Do you guys think that those are realistic options, Mike Williams and Allen Robinson?
I think Mike Williams is more so the realistic one. Mike Williams, he's somebody that we definitely don't have on offense. Like somebody that's a real threat outside the numbers. Somebody that can go up and get the ball. Like he don't have to necessarily have a step on somebody to win this matchup per se. So Mike Williams, he's definitely somebody that would be perfect for our offense.
Okay, to Boogie's question and point, winning does cure all. So would he check out of a Chiefs game? Because first of all, you're not going to get the bulk of the targets. We already know where option 1 and option 2 are. You're strong option 3, and you might be by yourself in option 3 too. But are you going to take? Are you going to go from 12 to 7? Or are you going to be cool with that? Or like you said, is he going to check out?
Mm-hmm.
Can't afford you to check out on your little 7 targets. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be there though. You know what I'm saying? And he said all that just to say this. Thank you, Boogie. Stop commenting.
Right. Talking about we getting on your nerves. Come on, dude. Boogie, aren't you in trouble anyway? What you doing on here anyway? Nah, I'm playing, bro.
Oh boy.
But Cooper's not a bad receiver. Like we're not gonna say he's a bad receiver. You know what I'm saying? And we can't question his heart, but like you said, winning does cure all. Does it matter if you're winning? If you're going to the Super Bowl? I might agree with that point too. Mike Williams can't get separation, but he can.
I can't fully. I don't know about that. I can't fully agree with that.
But do you think Andy Reid can scheme him open? That's the point. You know what I'm saying? I think Andy Reid can scheme him open. I don't know if he can create separation on his own. Does he have to? And he's good at jump balls. You trust your quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Does he really need to? When I seen this dude just kill us constantly and jumping over defenders, getting the ball. Like, he wins his
That was on
matchups.
Mike Hughes. That ain't.
Hey, listen.
That's facts.
That was
country.
on anybody. That was on anybody, bro. He does this repeatedly every year. So,
That guy.
I think Mike Williams being a little bit younger, and I think, I think Mike Williams' edge. It's close though.
Right now, my top three is probably him, Jarvis Landry, and Juju Smith-Schuster as far as free agent receivers. That's probably my top three wish list right now.
What you say again? Mike Williams?
Yeah, Mike Williams, Jarvis Landry, and I'm willing to hop on the Juju bandwagon.
Oh, you're willing. Okay, that's so nice of you.
You didn't have to be pushed.
Gosh, thank you.
You know what? I think Juju is just a foregone conclusion. I think it's gonna happen. I already think we might as well just add him to the roster right now. I think that's just I don't know why I had that much confidence in it, but it just seems like it makes too much sense. So that means it's probably not gonna happen. But right now, Juju is on the roster for me. So who would you add to that? You add a Juju and a Mike Williams. It's like, oh my God. Like, why would you? We don't need all.
No, that's too much. We're not getting both.
Yeah. It's one. It's just one guy. But we got a lot of things right on this show, so it wouldn't shock me if Juju ends up being the chief. And that's just another thing we get right on the show. So
maybe Paul who? Paul who, Chris? Paul? Who's Paul?
Paul. Yeah, that's
Paul.
He must be responding to Paul in the chat.
He's responding to Paul. Okay, I'm like, who is Paul?
I don't know any wide receivers named Paul.
Yeah.
Hey,
wrapping my brain.
Beasley though. Chuck on Cole Beasley.
What? Stop it. That was be a joke or something? That was be a joke.
I hope so.
It was a joke. I'm sorry.
Oh, scared me.
Definitely a joke.
It's the kid from Green Bay everybody wanted. He's not getting that much press. Marquez
Valdez Scanlon.
Or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Scanlon, he's good at stretching the field, but his hands are in question. I mean, when he was healthy, he improved a little bit. He had 2 big games for the Packers this year, but yeah, I'm kind of out. I'm out on MVS, man. I'm cool.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of movement. What do we got? 2 days out from the franchise tag deadline.
Mm-hmm.
The next 2 days are going to be interesting. I'm psyched for the next week between free agency about to start, franchise tag.
So
it's going to be interesting.
You think they franchise tag? Okay, they're going to franchise tag Orlando Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they work out a long-term deal before
That's the expectation. That's the expectation.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's why we brought him in. We would like to see him long-term, and I think throughout the season he improved to prove his spot.
Man, y'all leave Jackson Mahomes alone, man.
Why is he in the? Why are we bringing him in the conversation?
Because they're gonna be the talk of the town if they're doing TikToks together. That's why.
Oh,
he's moving to LA.
They probably won't even.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He's out of here. He's trying to get out of KC.
Yeah, so I guess a big opportunity opened up for Jackson. So that's the case. I mean, good for him.
Cool. Congratulations.
But the main news that we got to talk about that just happened today, as everyone knows, yesterday Tyrann Mathieu posted something on Twitter. He said, "Replacing me is easy. Getting them to do the same thing I did is damn near impossible." And then today, there's a report from Ian Rappaport saying that he's expected to test the free agent market. So apparently, I'm guessing Tyrann didn't get the offer that he likes, I assume. And he's going to test it out. So I've been here in New Orleans, I've been here in Dallas, but the latest I've heard is Baltimore. And I think Baltimore is probably in the running. if it's not us. So, I mean, what do you guys think about the latest breaking news with Tyrann Mathieu as far as him testing the free agent market?
So we do have a little insider knowledge. We're not gonna go in depth with it. We're not gonna burn our sources or whatever they say. But Tyrann was offered a certain number from the Chiefs that, in my opinion, was not cool. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like it. And I'm assuming, and I can verify he didn't like it either. So he's probably going to test the free agent market. Okay. So I see Baltimore as like the team to be afraid of. Because they're a contender. They got a nice defense. They getting a lot of pieces back that they missed last year because they were not healthy at all last year. So I would rank Baltimore. I would rank Dallas and maybe New Orleans. From what I'm hearing, he doesn't like New Orleans. Whatever. Anyway, I don't know. But so with the Ian Rappaport report saying a number, it kind of changes the things to where the number they offered him doesn't sound as bad as I thought it was before I heard the report. You feel what I'm saying? So I think the Chiefs, and it sounds crazy to say this, I think they might have offered him a fair deal. Now, I wonder, is he going to give the Chiefs the ability to match an offer he gets, unless it's outrageous? You know what I'm saying? So is he going to be allowed to test free agency? Well, he's going to be allowed to test free agency. I mean, that's his right. But is he going to be allowed to go out, get an offer, bring it back to the Chiefs and say, look, can you match this? Or can we meet in the middle here? Because obviously I think Tyrann wants to be a Chief. I think Kansas City wants him to be a Chief at a certain price, at a certain range, at a certain tier. So this is the business part of football that people don't want to talk about or people don't like. So I wonder how it's going to work itself out. Because in my eyes, I thought when I first heard the offer, I'm like, oh, yeah, he's gone. But now it seems like it just might be business, bro. And it might be more realistic than you think it is. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Cooler heads will prevail. He might end up being Baltimore and tear the roof off the league next year. And then we're looking like, dang, we should have kept Tyrann. But yeah, I agree, Paul. Beach number is pretty set.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got on it, Kylie?
Go ahead, Kylie.
So, I've always been a Tyrann fan, still am. I think he came in 3 years ago and he definitely changed the attitude on the defense, and he was a leader. He's still a leader. Last season, I was looking it up, he had 60 solo tackles throughout the season, and I mean, that's still good. I mean, he wasn't the leading tackler, and I did feel like he was around the play a lot, so I'm not going to be one of those people that's sitting there and say, oh, he wasn't pulling his weight as far as that's concerned, but it definitely feels like he's ready to move on. And this is just strictly from what I see him write on Twitter. And I don't know if that's his way of playing hardball. But I too feel like what we offered him is fair and what Beach offered him is fair. I don't think that Beach is going to change that number much. And I think that there's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes, possibly in this draft and in free agency that we aren't aware of, that could have led them to coming to that number, obviously. So I don't want to be like, bye, Tyrann, but at the same time, he's 30 years old. If we have the potential to grab someone younger who's going to have a serious impact on this defense, I mean, it's a business, country. You said it. It's a business, and it sucks because we grow attachment to these players. I've got I bought my mom a Tyrann jersey. Like, we grow an attachment to these players, and we watch them every week, and we root for them. And I'm still going to root for Tyrann to be successful if he's not on the Chiefs except for when they're playing the Chiefs, because I think he's a good player. But if it's time for us to part ways, it's time to part ways. I'm not going to be one of those fans who's like, no, please don't go, because that's what it is. This is the league, and this is how it works. And that's what I got to say.
Oh, and to your point, to colleague, real quick, Chuck. To our point, as we're watching the combine, it's a lot of DBs, it's a lot of safeties, a lot of corners who probably are affecting the market right now. A lot of people probably not going to get the number they thought they were going to get. Wide receivers, we seen the wide receivers show out the other day. I think all the free agent numbers went down a little bit. So the draft is playing a big part in these decisions. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, Paul, you nailed it. Strictly business. It's business.
He is.
It's not personal.
He 100% is. And sorry, go ahead, Chuck. I could go on. I'm not gonna get myself in trouble.
You're good. My thing is this: like, I'm at a point where, like, if we bring him back, cool. If we don't, cool. Like, I think Tyrann, whatever happens, I think Tyrann for what he's done here. You know, he became a Super Bowl champion here, went 2 Super Bowls, made 2 All-Pro teams. Like you guys said, he was the leader of the defense. He was a Swiss Army knife. Covered up a lot of holes that we do have on the defense. He played the deep third. He played slot. You know, he just played wherever he was asked to play, and he contributed in a big way. Was this past year kind of a down year? Yeah, it was a little bit, but at the end of the day, man, like, at this point, at 30 years old, I mean, you kind of at a crossroads right there, you know, of whether you want to bring him back or not, just because he is in that 30 range now, and for, you know, a safety of that caliber, you know, that is getting up there in age. So, I mean, I'm with either decision either way. That's just where I'm at with it right now.
Well, and if we were going to do a 3-year deal, I mean, he's this at 30, then 31, then 32, then 33. I mean, I don't know. I also feel like they made it very clear that they were going to make very strong moves in the offseason for the defense. And it takes making these hard decisions to see the results you want. And this could, I'm not saying that Tyrann leaving would be a good thing, but we could look back next season and see these other young bucks come up and step up as a true leader. And that's what we need. And I know that that's what we'd be lacking without Tyrann, but maybe there's leadership in Nick Bolton that we just haven't seen yet. Maybe there's leadership in Willie Gay that we haven't seen yet. Maybe there's a young, hungry draft pick out there that's an actual natural born leader. So I think this will open the door for a lot of opportunity. And we struggled last year on defense, and we needed to mix things up.
Fair warning to fans: if we move on from Tyrann and Dan and a lot of guys that contributed to our Super Bowl win, give the new guys a chance before you just absolutely pile on them and say they're trash and they suck and these can't draft, you can't do it. Like, give them a little bit of time, please. Because you know how we are. We are in winning mode right now, but we're actually going through a kind of a little rebuild on defense. Actually, a major rebuild on defense, to be honest.
Yeah.
We got to give these people, we got to give Beach, we got to give these players a little bit of time. It can be a couple weeks or whatever, and then you can just let loose. But give them some time, man. Let them work it out. It's not going to be pretty. It might not come together until week 12. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But just give them a chance, man. Don't just go in there and kill them just off because they gave up a touchdown, because it's going to happen regardless anyway. But give these people a chance, because we're going through the people that we've grown to love over these past 3, 4 years, 5 years, or whatever. Some of those guys are going to be leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the business. It's the business. And Chris is right. It's time for Snead, Thornhill. They got to step up. They got to be more vocal on and off the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time.
Yeah, I trust Brett Beach more than I trust some of my closest friends. So, I think he might have a little thing up his sleeve. So have faith. Have faith, guys.
Aggressive Beach is the best Beach.
Yeah.
Aggressive Beach.
He's a wizard. I was listening to some of his interviews. He knows exactly what to say, what not to say, and I know that's what they're trained to do, but I may have developed a small crush on Brett Beach over the last week and just listening to everything he had to say.
Quick thing on Brett Beach, though. This is hilarious, though. Tickets for Less did something where they had a meet and greet with Brett Beach. I don't know how I won, but I won. I was there. Dirkness was there. Casey Gatt was there. A couple other people that's Twitter famous like us. Beach was incredible. Like he was doing a one-on-one with us and answering questions, and he just lit up. Like I believed everything he said. You know what I'm saying? And he came through with a hell of a draft. This is a draft when they got Thornhill, Saunders, and who else did they get that draft? When they got Thornhill, whenever. But I mean, he's incredible, very engaging, and very believable. You know what I'm saying? And he lit up when he talked about horse racing, though. I think he liked horse racing more than he liked football, which is
really,
yeah. He lit up horse racing. Oh my God! And he just went into this whole thing about horse racing, but he really likes horse racing. So, but I believe Beach, man. You gotta, and Beach we trust, because
that's right.
I asked the question this week, and I want to ask our fans and all that stuff, and we'll talk about it later. How many more good drafts does he have to do before we stop talking about?
What's up, Lennox?
No, last year I felt like last year's draft was great, and I feel like he's improved each draft. So I'm excited to see what he does. I trust him.
Little bear or lion? What are you talking?
He had something to say. Like another thing about Beach.
Lennox loves to contribute to our show. Lennox loves to contribute to our show. So
yeah.
But what was your point though, Country? Before you got interrupted.
I just think I like aggressive Beach, and he's very believable when he talks. He's good in front of the mic. He's good in saying something and absolutely saying nothing, which I think he got from Andy Reid. But I think there's a sliver of truth in between everything he says. I don't think he's lying to me. I think you just got to pull out the truth of the statement that he said. Like, we like Tyrann likes us. I think that's true. But we're going to do what's best for business. I think that's also true. You know what I'm saying? Which is saying, I would love to have Tyrann back. I don't think it makes business sense. Or I cut hits because it was good business, and if I bring him back, it's going to be at a lower number, but it's going to be good for business. It's always about the business. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and like you guys mentioned earlier,
careful.
Draft class is full of good solid defensive backs, and then the free agent list is pretty solid with defensive backs too. So we'll see what Brett Beach has up his sleeve, man.
What do you guys make of J.C. Jackson?
I would love to have him. As long as our pass rush is addressed. So I'm not saying it gotta be a free agent, but Beach gotta hit on the draft or the free agency, whatever it takes. So
hey, this is the dream show. We need a cornerback, we need a defensive line guy, and we need to talk about D-line or secondary. Because they definitely help each other. Which one makes – because you got a good D-line, your secondary doesn't have to be as good as you think it has to be. But if you got a bad secondary, your defensive line doesn't have to be as good as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they help each other, but it's like a tug of war, like who helps who the most. Does a great D-line make a secondary even better? Or does a great secondary make a D-line? Because if I can hold a quarterback down for 4 seconds, you should be able to get to the quarterback. You should be able to get to the quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I can get to the quarterback in 4 seconds, you should be able to hold receivers for 4 seconds. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what benefits more? I just want to really have that conversation because we had that conversation on the timeline a couple of times. We never really got answers, you know. Paul, as I think Ward, Lil Mooney, I think Ward is gone, man. I think he played himself out of Kansas City.
You think so? You think so? That's what I was going to ask. Is do we think that we're freeing up money to keep Ward by offering Tyrann maybe not as much as he thinks he should get?
That sounds like an interesting point. Maybe.
Maybe they see more in Ward than they do for Mathieu. I don't know.
My thing is this: we could do better than Charvarius Ward, man. We really can. I'm just gonna be honest right there.
Okay.
I mean,
thank you for your services, Charvarius.
You trying to future endeavor, Mooney, man.
Let's dream here. Okay, so we get J.C. Jackson. You said this is a dreaming podcast, right? Okay, we get J.C. Jackson, and then we draft an edge and 2 defensive backs, and then re-sign Ingram.
Okay, so we signed Jackson, right?
Sign Jackson. We sign Ingram.
Okay.
And then we draft an edge and 2 defensive backs, or 2 edge and a defensive back.
That's a good start. I think we need to address the linebacker depth too. That's also another thing.
We got to get linebackers.
We got to address.
We need another linebacker. I know Chuck has a problem with Ben Neiman. I also do not want to see Ben Neiman. We can upgrade there. I think Ben Neiman is smart. I think he's a solid player, but we need to get better there and more athletic. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we do need a linebacker, maybe 2.
If he want to be a special teamer, cool. But I'm tired of this. Ben Neiman's the green dot and all that. Listen. Nick Bolton and Willie Gay, they got another offseason. I mean, they can get better at learning the scheme and all that. I think they can eventually become a green dot guys starting this year. So that's just me.
They're kind of going to have to be because we're running out of defensive players.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The more we talk about this, the more I'm like, we just get a wide receiver in free agency and don't draft one because we have so many defensive needs.
Yeah. Now Patrick Mahomes, I heard. I mean, I seen an article saying that he wants a veteran wide receiver rather than the Chiefs draft a receiver. I mean, that's what I heard. But, you know, of course, Patrick, you just the quarterback, dog. You're not an assistant GM or anything. But I get where he's coming from. So you want somebody they can trust.
Pat is the assistant GM on offense.
Yes, he has input, but dude, let Bravies do his job, man.
Look, we wouldn't have Clyde if it wasn't for Pat.
Yeah. we know some people. We know how some people feel about Clyde currently. So yeah, man. That's all the news. That's all the latest news for the Chiefs, man. Let's get on to week 14, man. Of this recap, man. Look, neither one of them cats gonna be there, Kevin. Them cats gonna be gone. We got to trade up.
We could trade up. We got picks.
Yeah, we've got plenty of third rounders. So
I just want somebody named Sauce on my team. What's the other dude's name? Smoke Monday? I just want them 2 guys on Smoke Monday or something like that.
It's a great name, yeah.
Great name.
Smoke and sauce. That fits perfectly, you know, because we the barbecue capital of the world, so. But
that's perfect.
But anyway, man, on the week 14, the the Raiders, they come back to Arrowhead and they do something that they should have never done. They had the little so-called meeting pregame at the 50-yard line on our logo, getting hyped and stuff. And then, Patrick in the game was waiting out in the tunnel. They saw that noise going on and they took it out on the Raiders. And it was ugly from the jump. I know early on, Jaron Reed made the first big play of the game. He forced a fumble, and Mike Hughes picked it up, returned it for 6.
Literally the first play of the game.
Yeah, literally the first play of the game. We took it to the crib on him. And I actually made that call, actually. I actually said that the Chiefs are going to get a fumble recovery touchdown on the first possession. So that was
Nailed
fun.
it.
That was fun to nail that call. So after that, Frank Clark and Melvin Ingram, they got him on the party on the next possession. And then the offense just clicked, man. Like it was really just a slaughterhouse from the beginning. Patrick doing his thing. Typical him. Travis Kelce got that strong Wi-Fi still. I know Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he scored on a pitch that made it like 21-0. It was one of those little option pitches or whatever. Not necessarily an option pitch, but it was like a misdirection. Then Patrick tossed it out to him with his left hand or whatever. So, but other than that, man, it was just a dominating performance, man. I really don't have much from this game. Like the defensive line just balled out and had Derek Carr running for his life, basically. So,
man, I don't know. I just remember feeling still like, well, we can beat the Raiders. And we had been doing well, but like I feel like there were still moments of, are we just this good against the Raiders? Or are we really clicking again? But I don't have much else to add from this game. I hate the Raiders, but everybody does. So
yeah,
it was just an ass kicking from pillar to post.
mm-hmm.
It was from the beginning to the end. They kind of let up at the end, but yeah, it wasn't even close. The Raiders digressed this year against us. Last year they kind of shocked us and beat us at the little victory lap. And I think that just bought them 4 more years of taking L's. So it's gonna be a while I don't know. Josh McDaniels might put him in a position to compete, but yeah, that victory lap was a dumb move, and stomping on the logo was probably worse. That probably was a worse move than the victory lap. And instantly they were down 7, and then it was a rout. It was it. That was it. Next game.
Dog, we was up 35-3 at halftime. That's how bad it got. And then like the big highlight of the game was in the beginning of the third quarter, Patrick Mahomes rolls out to his left, throws across the field. Tyreek Hill catches the ball for a big play. And that's how you knew, like, look, man, the Raiders don't have a chance in hell. After that play, It was like, all right, man, we got the game, bro. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the next game, though, Week 15, Thursday night, classic. Probably arguably, you can arguably say that this was the best game of the year in the NFL. We go into L.A., and we had to deal with COVID. We had to deal with COVID that week because Chris Jones was out. Charvarius Ward, he played. I mean, he was sick, but he played. And I think we had a few other guys missing too. Was it Frank Clark out too? I think it was somebody else on our D line that was out. I can't remember.
No.
Or was it Willie? Or was it Willie
Gay?
Yeah, Willie
Gay
was out.
Didn't play, did he?
I don't feel like he played.
Okay.
Willie Gay never played against the Chargers this year.
Paul.
That's right. Yeah, he didn't play.
We were missing a few guys, but we somehow overcame it, man. Beginning of the game, the Chargers had the ball. They was driving down the field, and they was looking like they was about to score a touchdown. It was an unfortunate injury with Donald Parham. We had to see him get carried out on the stretcher, and like the cameras. Man, I remember the cameras being super close to this dude. I'm like, why are the cameras super close to this guy? And he just, he just froze. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't need to see all that, man. That was just unnecessary by Fox, man. We didn't need to see all that. We don't need to see that man just paralyzed like that. But he wasn't. But good thing he wasn't paralyzed in the end. You know, he had a
how's he
nice
doing these
recovery.
days? We had like one update, but he's cool. He's
Yeah,
cool.
he got up and walked and everything. So
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know how he's gonna be football wise, but he did get out the hospital on his own power. So yeah, but yeah, Paul, that was real scary. But the
Very.
thing with the Chargers, man, what killed me is that this dude Brandon Staley, man, I don't know why he thought this was Madden. Like, this dude kept trying to go for it. He kept trying to disrespect our defense. Like, this dude went for it on 3 different occasions throughout the course of the game, and I feel like if he would have just took his points, we probably lose that game, to be honest, because the defense did the best they could, but the key players that we was missing, man, it was just difficult. Like, they really didn't have an issue moving the ball, and that's in spite of us keeping Mike Williams in check actually for the first time in a long time. It was mainly just Austin Eckler. It was mainly just dumping out the Austin Eckler, finding Keenan Allen here and there. So yeah.
This was one of those. This was like the game for me that I was like, we're back. Like, this is it. Like, I felt so good after this game. I was on a high. I think I rewatched that fourth quarter about the same amount of times I rewatched the Bills Chiefs game, playoff game. But it was just, they were clicking towards down the field and towards the end of the game, and it was a great game. And I think I didn't have a voice the next 4 or 5 days after that. I was all hungover at work the next day, but it was totally worth it. I was feeling good. And those are facts right there. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, we can't remember that. Yeah.
At least, yeah.
It was definitely the game of the year. It was like tight for the first 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter, it was just like, all right, we throwing everything out the window right now. We're throwing the kitchen sink at each other. And it was just back and forth, scores, it was like 25 points, like back and forth. Like, it was crazy. It was a hell of a game. Defense showed up. That first series for the Chargers was a preview of what they were going to do all afternoon, all night. They kept going for it. They kept going for it. They kept going for it. They were not getting points out of these. They weren't getting points out of it. And it just came back to haunt them. And we went to overtime, and boom, Travis Kelce, unbelievable. And game over.
Like,
that was such a great play. Like, so good.
He had 2 of them. He had one in the fourth quarter that was a long, 69 yards or whatever. Did that tie the game? Did that tie the game?
Yeah, Travis. Yeah, they tied the game. It was to tie the game and to win the game in overtime.
Okay,
So this game, man, like, a bunch of numbers were put up. Like, if you were a fantasy football head, I think this was the week that fantasy football playoffs started. Like, if you had Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce on your team, like, you was put in good position to start the week, because those dudes put up some generational numbers that night. You talk about Travis Kelce. He had, I think both of them guys went over 150. And I think it was the first time in NFL history 2 receivers, a wide receiver and a tight end, went for 150 yards, and they scored like a touchdown each at least. It was some ridiculous stat. So.
Oh, Pat threw the worst interception of his career, though. That was so terrible. The one he threw towards in the red zone. Oh my God! Like, what is he doing?
He had 2 terrible throws in the red zone. Because on that fourth down, that fourth down, I think it was late in the third quarter, I want to say. On that fourth down, when he had McCall Hardman wide open, wide open in the end zone or whatever, he threw the ball like it was Groundhog Day or something. Like, he saw a groundhog come up off the turf. That's how bad it was. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, wow, that ball really slipped out of his hands like that.
We put that game up there. It's up there with the Rams Monday night game. It's up there with Chargers in Mexico City. That was a hell of a game. It's up there. It's definitely a game that you can go back and rewatch.
I might go do that after this.
He threw worse than a duck. It was worse than a duck. It was a goose. I don't know what it was. It was just like he was so wide open that Pat was just like he's too wide open. He just threw it right in the ground. But that fourth quarter was worth it because 18 unanswered points or whatever happened was amazing. And Travis put us on his back and carried us, and we needed this game.
Oh my God, yeah.
Game. Yeah, so it was a desperation game. They needed that game to win the AFC West, and yeah, great game though. If you want to rewatch that, I would definitely invite you to rewatch that game anytime. It's worth it.
I remember he threw that interception, and I was like, does he not trust Hardman? Like, it was like he looked at him and he was like, I don't want to throw it to you, but I got to throw it to you. But like, there was so much like he couldn't decide. That's kind of where I was like, I just don't think he trusts Hardman yet. And then they slowly started figuring it out.
The pump fake, it was so bad. It was just, did he just lose the ball? I don't know what. And he really didn't explain it either. He just was like, that's on me. Like, yeah, it's on you, but why did you do that?
Right.
Terrible. Hell of a game though. That fourth quarter and overtime, edge of your seat, action pack is better than the Batman.
Wait, we can't talk about that yet. Okay.
Yeah, definitely can't talk about that yet. I definitely gotta watch that before we get into that. So, but yeah, man. But it also showed that Justin Herbert, he gonna be tough, man. He gonna be tough for years to come. Like Mahomes and Herbert, that's gonna be a hell of a quarterback showdown for years to come. Wherever those two go at it.
So this brings up his question. That's why I don't think A-Rod is coming to Denver. There's too many quarterbacks in the AFC. It's too much competition. It's too cutthroat. Stay where you're at. You can easily win your division, and you can be completing in the playoffs. But Chuck says you don't do good in the playoffs anyway. So
it's facts. I think I completely agree with you though. Like his ego's too big for the AFC West. That's just my opinion. Said what I said.
And now Sean Watson may come to Denver, and that's going to be something to keep an eye on, definitely. But if they bring Jimmy G, then they're not serious about winning anyway, so it don't matter.
The Broncos and the Raiders can just keep getting in their own way for all I care.
Right.
Yeah.
Let us deal with the Chargers. That's it.
Paul, I heard Batman was great though, bro. I did hear that.
But forget Aaron Rodgers, man. This dude Aaron Rodgers, man, he's such an attention whore, dog. Like all these little delays and stuff. Like, look, this may end up with him staying with Green Bay another year, man. After doing all this, the last dance nonsense, man. Like he just doing different stuff to try to keep himself relevant in the news, man. That's all it is.
I know. Comes to the podium, I have nothing new to say. I'm still deciding. Like I don't know. I feel like we're all waiting for no news.
Hey, as much flack as y'all gave LeBron over the decision, he didn't do this. He didn't drag it on for 8 weeks and the whole off season, and I really like it. I'm truly torn, like all that stupid stuff. He didn't do that, so give him some respect on that, Chuck.
Listen, I already said he the LeBron James of football. I already said that, so it is what it is, man. But on to week 16 after that huge win. We get Steelers. We get the course of Big Ben coming here, and this game wasn't close. Like the Steelers, they a historic franchise. They've arguably, or they're one of the best franchises in NFL history. But this was just the last bit that you was gonna see of Ben Roethlisberger, and we straight dominated from the get go. Like This was Byron Pringle's career game because Byron Pringle, he found the end zone twice in this game. This is when Byron Pringle was finally starting to come to his own in his offense because we've known that this guy has the ability to get open. It was just a matter of if he's going to get opportunities to actually make plays and be a little more consistent. And I think this is when Pringle was starting to find his rhythm and get his groove going. But I will say that the one guy that did dominate was Deontay Johnson. But other than that, man, still has had no chance, man. We saw Frank Clark get a sack in this game. We saw defensive line get after it. Patrick Mahomes was, finding the rhythm with his guys. This was the game that Tyreek Hill, he was originally on the COVID list, didn't practice all week.
Yep.
He came back, got involved early on the first possession, and then he didn't get involved the rest of the game because the guy was so winded from just not practicing and being under health protocol and everything. So it really affected him out there. But the Chiefs' offense didn't skip a beat. Just his presence out there helped open things up for the offense anyway. So.
Well, and Kelsey was out too, right? This was like
Kelsey was actually out.
Whole thing. Yeah, the whole team had COVID. I felt like this was that game.
Yeah, so Noah Gray started, and Harrison Butker was out too. So we had a replacement kicker for 1 week, and he did all right.
Townsend. Wasn't Townsend out? No.
Oh, that's when we lost Niang too.
We were out, like a ton of people were
out. He ended up playing left tackle by the end of the game, which was, it was crazy. And we still
that would be the next week. That would be the next week. But I do remember Niang did get hurt, and Andrew Wiley ended up being the guy.
Yeah, it was the Bengals game, but it was before the game, right?
Yeah, that was before the game.
Oh, so is this the game Orlando Brown missed?
Probably.
Orlando Brown played this game, bro.
Didn't we have 10 players out?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like between those 2 weeks with the Chargers and Steelers, we had a lot of guys out.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm tripping then. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This was the COVID game.
You are tripping. I definitely remember Orlando Brown playing this game. It was the next game, fam.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
So, but anyway, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a nice highlight for the first touchdown. He bulldozed 2 Steelers defenders on his way to the end zone. So I got pretty hype off of that. I was like, yeah, Clyde, let's go, man. People been talking about you all week.
Didn't he get hurt this game? Did he get hurt again? Am I thinking of it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I could be thinking of it. I don't know. Anyway,
I can't remember.
The boy get hurt so much. Who knows?
we beat their ass. That's what I know. It was 36-10, I think, was the final score of that game.
Yeah, straight ass whipping.
It didn't matter. What's our record at this point? We are.
This is like we're in our 9. This is our win streak. We still haven't lost. I don't know.
Yeah, we're what 11-4 this time.
No, because we had 2 games left.
12-4.
Yeah, you gotta remember it's an 18-week season, so we'll be playing 17 games. So that would be our 15th. Yep, 11-4. We'll be 11-4 after this game.
So Kylie, you were right. That's when he hurt his shoulder.
So he did get I couldn't remember.
Okay.
I just remember, and then he was out a few weeks, and then through the playoffs, and it was McKinnon season. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, he eventually did come back in the playoffs, though. But yeah, like you said, we'll get into that. But yeah, despite us having to deal with our COVID situations in the past 2 weeks, we was able to overcome that. We're now 11-4, and yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this Bengals game. Yeah, we talked about this game so many times. It's ridiculous, man. Like, we have not won in Cincinnati in a long time, man. And it looked like our losing streak was going to end up in Cincinnati. We was clicking on all cylinders. Like, their defense had no answer for us. It looked like we was just about to roll, man. Like, we was about to just crash their party because, Cincinnati had the AFC North on the line. They had to be desperate and try to win that game to get in the playoffs or whatever. And like just from the get go, man, like they couldn't stop Patrick. They couldn't stop Darrell Williams. Darrell Williams was going off in the first half. Tyreek Hill had opportunities. Like he was getting something going, but right before the half, he dropped a big play that could have gave us a 30 burger basically right before the half.
This game is so like this is the definition of foreshadowing. It's the exact same. We see it 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later. I don't want to talk about it.
It was annoying, man. This was an annoying ass game. I'm sorry. This was very annoying because
it still is.
Because despite all of that, man, like despite Jamar Chase going off in the first half, I figured after what he did in the first half, like, okay, we're gonna start doubling him. We're gonna start taking him away. But unfortunately, in the second half, that was not the case. That was not the case whatsoever. We still let this man get one-on-one matchups. But along the way, we did have a couple of third down stops, and the refs would call some horrible penalties, man. Like, and the funny thing about this game is that ref, Ron Torbert, he was not supposed to be the official of that game. That was supposed to be John Hussey, but he got replaced at the last minute. And, Ron Torbert was calling a bunch of BS this game. And I still don't like that dude. I still got beef with him, man. They called a controversial penalty with Rashad Fenton, I felt like. And then they called a controversial penalty with Snead. And they said Snead grabbed the face mask, but he grabbed dude's shoulder pad. And I'm like, it was just ridiculous, man. They kept their drives alive, man. Like the refs, I feel like the refs carried them a bit in this game too.
Yeah. I'm just frustrated with the lack of adjustments that the defense made or that Spags made. That was like my big takeaway from this game. And then, of course, they just kept getting burned. But the thing is, like, I felt like Ward did what he could do. Spags, it felt like they were just kind of tying one hand behind his back. They were like, go get him.
Right. Just let them out the drive. Just let them out the drive, man. And, like, the Chiefs' offense only got the ball 3 times in the second half.
Isn't that what happened? Never mind. Yeah. It's like too eerily similar to even. We don't even need to talk about the next time.
Game. It's literally the same game.
We'll just say see week 17 next to.
Oh my goodness!
Refer back to week 17.
An asterisk next to it, like whatever.
Oh my God, this game sucked.
Paul, I do agree in the sense that Chase was getting away with some push-offs. Like Chase was getting away with some push-offs this season. Like as good as he was, he did get away with some push-offs, man.
All season long.
It was just crazy.
What was the next game?
Right.
Coach is like, I'm not even gonna talk about it. Coach is like, I'm not even gonna talk about it, man.
There's nothing to talk about, and we covered it in depth. Go back and look at the podcast. Denver was next. Final game of the season.
Final regular season game. Denver. We played our seed game, man. Yeah, we played our seed game, man, because we came to this game like, all right, we really not trying to show much. We trying to be a little bit vanilla before the playoffs, but we still gonna win this game regardless. And that was the case here.
A lot of it. Jesus Christ.
This dude Drew Lock, man. This dude Drew Lock was taking off on us, man.
Man, wasn't this the garbage field?
Gosh, that field was so trash. And Tyreek Hill barely even played this game. I think he because country, we didn't even mention how Orlando Brown got hurt in pregame warm-ups before that Bengals game. That was the game that Joe Tooney played left tackle.
Yeah, and we lost.
But in this game, Tyreek Hill got injured in warm-ups, and he was only in the game on like key third downs or like third and short, basically, or fourth and short.
Yeah, and pop up again.
Yeah, it was tough, but Tyreek Hill did make some key plays when he was called upon. But early in the game, man, yeah, yeah, Paul, yeah,
Exactly. You don't want to get rid of Drew Lock?
right, right. Keep Drew Lock.
Keep him. You need him.
Yeah, Denver, start him another year.
Mhm.
Oh
But yeah,
God.
that field was so garbage. That field was so damn garbage, man. I
Mhm.
know the opening drive, Travis Kelsey, got a touchdown. You know, he usually kills the Broncos in prime time, or just kills them in general. And then you remember we just mentioned about how that field was so terrible. Harrison Bucker slipped on the kickoff, and the ball ended up being a
He
swift
did.
kick. And Denver got to the 35-yard line to start out. But yeah, in this game, man, we was able to make them punt the ball and everything. But unfortunately, we got a penalty, kept their drive alive, and then Drew Lock went on ahead and showed off his athletic ability, got 2 touchdowns running. But in the end, throughout the course of the game, the Chiefs just had an idea that we're gonna eventually win this ball game, and that's what they did.
This
What
game
you
is
got,
about
Coach?
one play.
Mhm. Mhm.
The most amazing plays. The reason that we got Melvin Ingram blast through the line, blast through Melvin
Yes,
Gordon.
sir. Yes, sir.
He meets Drew Lock and the football all at the same time. Nick Bolton picks up a fumble, and I thought he was gonna fall before he.
Houses it. You guys
Yeah.
go stumble and blow it.
How long was it? Was it 89 yards? I want to
Oh
say.
yeah, he ran a long distance. I think that's about right.
Didn't he break a record? Was it? No.
I don't know if
Like
it
the
was,
longest.
he definitely was.
Longest. I don't know.
He definitely was on the oxygen tank on the side. Melvin Ingram blows up the entire side of the line.
Gosh.
Blows up the running back who attempted. I don't know what he was trying to do, but he got blew up too on the way. Blows up Drew Lock. And the funny thing is, 24 and 54, they're both dark skinned. They both have dreads. I didn't know
Yep.
who picked the ball up until later, but it was just like go, 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 and then you could tell he was getting tired, but it was nobody around. They held Drew Lock off for the longest. Was Drew Lock like the only person chasing him?
Yeah. At the end, yeah. Then Drew Lock kind of knew. Like Drew Lock played with the guy in Mizzou. He kind of knew. Like I'm not catching this dude.
Yeah.
It felt like nobody else. Everybody else is just like, he's gone. But man, it was amazing, and they won us the game, and we slept walk all through that Denver game, apparently just to get ready for the playoffs. And yeah, wow, we
Yeah,
were in
and like
that
that.
game. I never thought we were going to lose, but it was
Right.
bad. It was a lackadaisical game to say the least. It was definitely a week 17 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, week 18. But yeah, like and this was the game. And this was the game we was kind of starting to incorporate McCall Harbin into kind of a Debo Samuel role too, because we seen him take some snaps out of the backfield, and he had a nice run in that game as well. And speaking of guys that ran the ball well, Derek Gore, he actually had a nice game as well in his limited time. So we saw Derek Gore had his moments whenever he got an opportunity. So
More and
there was that.
more.
Yeah. But at the end though, like after that fumble recovery for a touchdown, Patrick Mahomes he converts a couple of key third downs in the very last play. Travis Kelsey got open on a third down and sealed the game. So yeah, so we end the year 12-5 in the regular season, heading to the playoffs, and we find out our first round opponent is the Steelers. But we'll cover that on the next episode.
Not a bad season. Uh, where we came from, where we were under 500 twice, 3 times maybe. So to end up 12-5, which is pretty much where you probably want to be in a 17.
Second.
You know what I'm
And
saying? Second seed. Could have been in the first seed, but it's Cincinnati. But
or Achilles Hill, apparently.
Joe Burrow,
It's not Joe Burrow. Let's not put it all on him. Let's give it.
Joe Burrow wasn't the reason they won. But yeah, so all in all, a good season. We'll get to the playoff issue part of it, but all in all, a regular season was a success, depending on where it came from, because it looked dark for multiple weeks, and then it was a nice, bright, shining rainbow in the middle for about 8, 9 games, and then we walked off to the playoffs. So we didn't limp into the playoffs, but we weren't completely confident. We didn't have all of our swagger, but we had enough swagger to get to where we got, and we should have done better, but who knows?
Yeah, I give this season like a B plus, man, just because of the early struggles. Like we were struggling to find our identity for whatever reason at the beginning. Defense was just misaligned. Guys playing out of position. Patrick Mahomes going through his struggles. As far as throwing from the pocket and everything. I feel like he still needs to work on that a little more. But other than that, man, a 12-5 season. I mean, despite all of that, that's a great year. But I give it a B plus.
That's fair.
Yeah,
fair.
I'll give it a B, just because I think it was lower. I think we came out with our expectations were, at least mine were pounced on real quick. But if you had told me in October that we'd end up with the 2nd seed or the 2 seed and 12-5, I would have said, you're shitting me. But we did it. They came back, which just shows you don't lose faith in your team, and don't lose faith in Pat Mahomes or Andy Reid or any of them, because they can turn it around. And they did. And then we went to the playoffs. And the rest is history, and that's all we're going to review. So thanks. Just kidding. And that's when the season ended, and we did great.
Yeah, we covered the playoffs in depth. We do not have to go over the playoffs. We just going over the season. We dedicated whole episodes to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're not doing that. You said forget it, huh? Forget it, huh?
Well, we don't have to do the Bengals game because we just did that one. Remember? So we just really need to go back through. And we don't really need to do the Steelers game because that was pretty similar as well.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same stuff, right? After that shaky first quarter, we just did what we did last time to them in the season. So, but yeah, like Paul said, I don't mind going through the Bills game. Yeah, that was a classic. So
we can go through the playoffs. I'm just kidding.
We will cover the playoffs on the next show. We'll do it. We'll put a couple minutes on it. We're not gonna go in depth with it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Chuck.
That, man.
So, special announcement about tomorrow?
Yeah. Special announcement about tomorrow. We're gonna do an NFL Scouting Combine episode since that's gonna conclude officially on Monday. I know today is the last day as far as like positional drills and stuff, but according to the combine schedule, it officially concludes on Monday. So we're gonna do an NFL Scouting Combine review episode. We're gonna have Alec Elijah. He's our NFL writer. He covers the draft and combine and everything for Sports Talk 2319. So he's like a young and up and coming analyst, and he knows his stuff. I've seen his work, so you guys gonna enjoy having him on. We're gonna talk about top prospects, what guys that probably fit best for the Chiefs in this upcoming draft, things like that. We're gonna have plenty of topics, so tune into that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah, should be fun.
Don't miss it.
So, season in review, we're done. We made it through.
Got through it, y'all. Got through it.
We got through it. that one stretch was very difficult, but we made it through. So now we are on to the draft. We will start our scouting. We're gonna cover our combine tomorrow with the Monday show. We're gonna get some guys in to talk about prospects we should be looking at in this upcoming draft. We're gonna do our off-season checklist, which is gonna be fun. And free agency, we're gonna be on top of that. And just stay tuned, like, subscribe, and keep supporting us. We love the support, and y'all, we love our fans. Y'all doing great for us, and we're gonna keep riding for y'all, giving y'all more content. So, Chuck, take us out.
So with that being said, that's gonna conclude another episode of Kingdom Cast. We out of here, people.
See you tomorrow. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.